Look. I knew something was off the second I caught him double-checking his jacket pocket on the way to the wedding. You don't live with someone for 5 years and not pick up on the way they start fidgeting when they're about to do something big or stupid. But I never imagined this. We were already on thin ice. 5 years together, 2 breakups, a million arguments swept under the rug, and I still don't know if I stayed out of hope or fear of starting over. His name's Ben, by the way. And for 5 years, Ben's life philosophy was simple. If it doesn't make him the center of attention, he's not interested. And the wedding we were headed to? It was for Anna and Liam, 2 of my oldest friends, the most laid-back, loving couple you could ever meet. They'd been through everything together: debt, miscarriages, layoffs, therapy. And somehow they still radiated that rare kind of love people secretly envy. And Ben hated them for it. He never said it out loud. But I could see it every time they made each other laugh over something dumb, or when they held hands at dinner. I'd catch him clenching his jaw, his eyes twitching. Ben wasn't capable of that kind of love, and deep down I think he knew it. So when I saw him nervously patting his jacket pocket that morning, I knew. It was the ring. We'd argued about it just weeks earlier. Not at someone else's wedding, Ben. That's their moment. I don't care if you have a ring. You better wait. Relax. I wouldn't do that. God, you really don't trust me, do you? Well, turns out I didn't. And I was right not to. The ceremony was beautiful. The kind that makes you forget your own life isn't as perfect. Anna and Liam looked like they'd just walked out of a Pinterest board, her in this gorgeous off-shoulder lace gown, him in a suit that actually fit for once. They read their own vows, and I swear half the women were sobbing. Including me. For a moment, I forgot Ben was even there. That lasted until dinner. We were seated with Anna's cousins at the second table from the front. I remember Ben being oddly quiet, which never happens. He's a loud guy, always trying to top someone's joke or get the waiter's attention for more drinks. But this time, he was calculating. I could feel it. I should have stopped him right then. Should have grabbed my purse, made an excuse, and left. But I didn't. I stayed. And then he did it. Right as they brought out the dessert, Ben stood up, tapped his glass with a fork, ping, 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 cutting through the music and chatter like a blade. Every single head in that hall turned toward him, including the bride and groom. I felt my blood run cold. He reached into his pocket, pulled out the little velvet box, and with a grin that made my stomach turn, he grabbed my hand and dragged me to the center of the dance floor. I tried to resist. Whispered, "Don't. Please. Don't do this here." But Ben smiled wider. Like this was the real show. Like the whole wedding was just his stage. "Ladies and gentlemen," he said, throwing his arm around my shoulder, "I think after all the love we've seen today, it's only fitting that I ask my girl the most important question of my life." My body locked up. I looked over at Anna. She was frozen. I looked at Liam. He looked like he was about to stand up, his fists clenched on the table. That's when I knew. Ben wasn't going to stop. And if I didn't stop him, I would be the villain. So I did something I never thought I'd do. Right there. In front of everyone. I tore the microphone out of his hand. "Stop." "What?" I said, "Stop. This isn't your moment. This is their moment." Gasps. Whispers. Everyone watching. But I wasn't done. I turned to the crowd. And with shaking hands, I started to tell them everything. I swear my voice was shaking so bad I didn't even recognize it at first. But the words just spilled out. I told him not to do this. I began, my throat dry, my heart pounding so hard I could hear it over the stunned silence. I told him, begged him, not to hijack someone else's wedding. But he didn't care. He wanted this moment for himself, not for us. For himself. Ben's face twisted. He reached out to grab my arm, but I pulled away so hard he nearly lost his balance. "You didn't ask me because you love me, Ben," I continued. "You asked me because you need the attention. You can't stand it when someone else gets to be happy for once without you stealing the spotlight." The tension was suffocating. I could hear people murmuring. Some shocked. Some laughing under their breath. I even saw one of Anna's bridesmaids whispering, "Oh my God," to the person next to her. Ben, realizing the crowd wasn't reacting the way he imagined, tried to grab the microphone back. "All right, that's enough," he muttered through clenched teeth, forcing a smile toward the guests like this was all just some weird joke. But I stepped back. I wasn't done. "Do you want to tell them, Ben? Or should I?" He froze. Because he knew. See, what Ben didn't realize was that I wasn't just embarrassed. I was armed. I had receipts. Screenshots of texts I wasn't supposed to see. Messages between him and his ex-girlfriend. Yep. The one who swore she'd never get between us. I found them a week earlier. I wasn't even snooping. He left his phone face up while he showered. The preview showed her name. And curiosity? It's a dangerous thing. So I scrolled. And I read everything. The plans. The late-night meetups. The way he promised her he was waiting for the right moment to leave me. Did you tell them about her, Ben? I asked, loud enough for the guests to hear. Did you tell them how you swore to Rachel that you'd break up with me, right after you got to play the hero in front of all these people? Gasps again. People turning to each other. As darting between me, Ben, and the couple of the night, Anna and Liam, who now looked like they had front row seats to a train wreck. Ben looked like he'd been punched in the gut. He opened his mouth, probably to lie his way out of it, but the DJ, God bless this man, abruptly cut the mic audio and turned the music back on. I could barely hear myself think as the music blared, but I didn't care. I was done. I was done. Ben reached for me again. I stepped back. I could see his jaw clenching, his fists tightening like he wanted to grab me by the shoulders and drag me out of there. And that's when Anna stood up. Calm. Furious. Deadly. Turn the music back off, she said flatly. The DJ stopped the music like his life depended on it. Everyone stared at Anna now. She walked up to us, heels clicking with every step. Liam followed, not saying a word, but I could tell he was ready to physically remove Ben if it came to that. Anna stood in front of me, ignoring Ben entirely. Are you okay? She asked softly. I nodded. Barely. Then she turned to Ben. Get out. Ben scoffed. Tried to puff his chest. This has nothing to do with why. Liam didn't let him finish. He grabbed Ben by the arm and started dragging him toward the exit like a bouncer at a bar. Ben struggled, but it was useless. No one stepped in to help him. He looked around the room one last time, probably hoping anyone would defend him. But no one did. And as the door slammed shut behind him, the entire hall erupted into applause. I stood there humiliated, shaking, still clutching the mic like it was the only thing holding me together. And then I broke. I felt my knees start to buckle, but Anna caught me. She pulled me into a hug so tight I almost forgot how badly I was shaking. Thank you, she whispered, for not letting him ruin our day. That's when the tears finally came. I had no idea what tomorrow would look like, or how many more people would whisper about me after this. But in that moment, I realized something I hadn't felt in years. I was finally free. I thought it was over after that night. I was wrong. Ben didn't just slink away. He showed up the next morning. I had barely slept when I heard the pounding on my door. I should have called the cops. Instead, I opened it a crack. There he stood, wild-eyed, wearing the same wrinkled shirt from the night before. Let me explain, he snapped. You embarrassed me in front of everyone. I almost laughed. He was the victim now? You humiliated yourself, I shot back. And you deserve it. He tried to push the door open, but I slammed it shut. He banged on it for a few minutes, shouting that I owed him a real conversation. Eventually, my neighbor shouted from their window to knock it off or they'd call the police. That finally made him leave. But it didn't stop there. I woke up to dozens of texts. Ben begging. Ben raging. Ben threatening to make me look bad to all our friends if I didn't talk to him. I blocked him. A few hours later, Anna called. She told me Ben had messaged her too, blaming her for turning me against him and ruining his future. She blocked him too. I couldn't believe his audacity. The man who tried to steal their wedding day now blamed them for his own downfall. That's when Anna told me something that made my blood run cold. He's trying to tell people you cheated. My stomach dropped. I knew he was petty, but this? The next few days I started hearing from mutual friends. Some were confused. Some asked if it was true. He was actually spinning a story that I had been sleeping with someone else for months and he was only trying to win me back with a proposal. I knew what I had to do. I posted everything on social media. The texts. The screenshots. His ex-girlfriend's name blatantly in the messages. I left the comments on. I wanted people to see the truth. And they did. By the end of the day, Ben deleted all his accounts. But deep down, I knew him. He wouldn't give up that easily. I just didn't realize how far he'd go next. Just when I thought Ben had finally vanished. My phone rang again, but this time it wasn't him. It was his mother. I hadn't spoken to her in months, and the second I heard her voice, I knew where this was going. We need to talk, she said coldly. You're destroying my son's life over nothing. I laughed bitterly. Nothing? Did he tell you why I stopped him? I asked. She ignored the question and started lecturing me about how no relationship is perfect and how I should have kept it private instead of making him look bad in front of the entire family and the internet. I hung up. I wasn't doing this. But then his sister messaged me. Then his cousin. Then two of his friends. One after another, blaming me for embarrassing him over something personal that should have stayed between us. The guilt tactics were piling up. And the sad part? It almost worked. I started second-guessing myself. Was I really the bad guy for going public? Should I have handled it quietly? But then Anna reminded me. He wasn't quiet when he tried to steal our wedding. He wanted an audience. He deserved the same when you exposed him. She was right. I didn't owe him my silence. The next week was a circus. He and his family pushed harder. I started getting weird calls at work. No one would speak when I answered. Just breathing or silence. A few days later, I noticed someone had keyed my car. Not once, twice. Deep, angry scratches down both sides. I couldn't prove it was Ben or his family. But who else could it be? The final straw? A letter slipped under my apartment door. No envelope. No signature. Just a scribbled note. You ruined my life. I'm not done yet. That was it. I went to the police and filed a report. They couldn't do much without proof. But at least it was on record now. And in the back of my mind I knew. He was just getting started. You know that sinking feeling when you sense someone watching you? That chill down your spine you just can't explain? I started feeling it everywhere. At the grocery store. Walking to my car. Even standing in line at the bank. It was small things at first, like seeing a familiar car parked across the street. A dark blue Honda Civic. I couldn't tell if it was his, but I felt it. I tried brushing it off as paranoia. Until I saw it again. And again. And again. One night, I left Anna's apartment around 11 p.m. She begged me to stay over, but I stupidly said I'd be fine. As I walked toward my car, I saw headlights flicker on about half a block down. Same car. Blue Honda. Idling with its lights off just minutes earlier. I stood frozen for a second, heart pounding. Was it him? I couldn't see the driver. I jumped in my car, locked the doors, and sped off. And you better believe I kept checking my rearview the whole way home. I didn't tell anyone at first. I was scared people would say I was overreacting. But the next night, it happened again. I left work late, around 9 p.m. The parking lot was nearly empty, except for that same damn car. This time it moved when I did. Slowly, carefully. I panicked and pulled into a gas station, pretending I needed to fill up. The car kept going. That's when I finally broke down and called Anna. She begged me to come stay with her and Liam until I could figure something out. I packed a bag the next morning and headed straight there. I didn't even tell anyone where I was going. For 2 weeks I stayed with them. No strange cars. No creepy letters. Nothing. I started to let my guard down again. Until one night, Liam came inside holding something that made my stomach drop. A box. Left on their porch. With my name on it. The box was small, about the size of a shoebox. No return label. No postage. No markings at all, except my name, scribbled across the top in black marker. Liam set it on the kitchen table while Anna and I just stared at it like it was a bomb. Don't touch it, I whispered, feeling my pulse in my throat. Liam grabbed a pair of gloves. Seriously, the man was ready for anything and carefully peeled the tape back. When he opened it, Anna let out a breathy "What the hell?" Inside there was no note. No explanation. Just 3 things. 1. A framed photo of me and Ben from years ago. 2. 3. The fake engagement ring. 4. 5. A single half-burned candle, the same kind we used to light during our date nights at home. 6. I felt like I was going to throw up. Anna's hands were shaking when she picked up the photo. It was from our first anniversary. I had no idea he even kept it. He's messing with your head, Liam said darkly. I knew he was right. But why now? And why here? Had he followed me? Had he been watching Anna and Liam's house the whole time? I felt like every wall was closing in. I needed to breathe. I decided right then. I had to go to his place. Not to talk. Not to get closure. I needed to see for myself what he was doing. What he'd been planning. Anna begged me not to go alone. Liam insisted on driving me. So the next night, we parked across from Ben's apartment complex, engine off, lights dimmed. I knew it was risky, but I had to know. We watched his unit for nearly an hour. No movement. No lights. Nothing. Just as we were about to leave, Liam nudged me. Look. I followed his gaze. And there he was. Ben. Stepping out of his building. Holding a second box. He crossed the street. And started walking straight toward Liam's car. Liam's grip tightened on the steering wheel. I grabbed his arm. Don't move, I whispered. I need to see what he's going to do. Ben didn't notice us right away. He just stood there on the sidewalk, holding the box like it weighed 1,000 pounds. Then, he bent down and placed it right on our hood. That's when I snapped. I flung the car door open before Liam could stop me. Ben jumped when he realized it was me sitting there the whole time. What the hell is wrong with you? I shouted, stepping between him and the box. He stammered, clearly not expecting me to be there. I just wanted you to listen. I couldn't believe it. After everything. After ruining my friend's wedding. After sending threats and showing up at my place. He was still playing the victim. You've been stalking me, I hissed. Leaving creepy crap at my door. Scratching my car. You think this is going to fix anything? Ben's face twisted like I'd insulted him. You owe me 5 years and you left me like I was nothing, he snapped. You humiliated me in front of everyone. I just wanted to show you I still. Don't you dare say you love me. His mouth hung open. I could see the anger building. You made me look like a monster, he seethed. So yeah, maybe I wanted you to feel what it's like to lose everything. Liam jumped out of the car then, slamming the door behind him. Back off, he warned, stepping between us. Ben laughed bitterly. Oh, what, you need him to fight your battles now? I grabbed the box off the hood and threw it at Ben's feet. We're done. You're done. If you come near me again, I'll file a restraining order so fast you won't know what hit you. Ben clenched his fists so tight his knuckles turned white. But for once he said nothing. He just stood there. Shaking. Humiliated. Beaten. Finally he turned around, picked up the box, and walked away without another word. I stood there shaking for a long time after that. Liam finally pulled me into a hug. It's over, he whispered. But standing there in the dark, one thing still haunted me. Why did he have 2 boxes? Liam drove me straight back to their place. Neither of us spoke much on the ride home. But my mind wouldn't stop spinning. 2 boxes, why 2? Ben had already left one at Anna and Liam's place. And now he tried to leave another one on our car. It didn't make sense. Unless it wasn't for me. I didn't sleep that night. Something felt unfinished. Off. By morning, Anna was already scrolling through her phone, checking in with friends and family, making sure Ben wasn't bothering anyone else. And that's when it happened. She stopped scrolling. Her face paled. What's wrong? I asked, sitting up on the couch. She slowly turned her phone toward me. It was a Facebook post. From Rachel. Ben's ex. The one he cheated on me with. She had posted a photo of a box, just like the ones Ben left for me. Except this one had her name on it. The caption? Not sure who thinks this is funny, but whoever left this outside my apartment needs to stop. I have a family now. Stay away. My blood ran cold. Ben had gone to her house too. Anna gasped softly. What's in it? We didn't know. But I had to find out. I didn't have Rachel's number. We'd never spoken. I hated the idea of messaging her, but I had no choice. I sent her a DM. No hello. No introduction. Just, I think I know who left that box. She didn't respond for hours. But when she did, it was a single message. Call me. Now. When I called Rachel, I half expected her to hang up the second she heard my voice. But she didn't. She answered on the first ring, sounding like she hadn't slept either. Tell me it wasn't him, she whispered. I swallowed hard. It was. For a moment, she didn't say anything. And then she let out this exhausted little laugh like she was on the verge of breaking. I haven't heard from him in months, she whispered. He tried to ruin my relationship too, and I thought I finally got rid of him. She told me how things had ended between them right after the wedding disaster. Apparently, Ben had spiraled, texting her nonstop, showing up at her work, leaving notes on her car. She blocked him on everything. She thought it was over. Until the box showed up on her doorstep 2 nights ago. What was in it? I asked carefully. She sighed. A picture of me and him from high school. A candle. and a tiny bottle of cheap perfume I used to wear when we were kids. My stomach flipped. That's exactly what he put in mine, I whispered. She was quiet for a long time before asking, "Do you think he's dangerous?" I didn't have an answer. But what I did know was that this had gone far beyond petty revenge. He wasn't trying to get me back. He wasn't trying to humiliate me anymore. He was trying to trap both of us in his sick game. That's when Rachel told me she was filing a police report that day. She had camera footage of him leaving the box, and she was ready to press charges. "You should do the same," she urged. I hung up and sat in silence for a long time, until Anna came over and grabbed my hand. "It's time," she whispered. "Let's end this for good." And that's exactly what I did. I filed everything. I filed the police report that afternoon, showed them the threatening letter, told them everything that had happened since the wedding. Anna and Liam came with me. Rachel did too. We weren't scared of Ben anymore. We were done being his pawns. The officers took our statement seriously. They asked for anything else we had: texts, photos, witness accounts. I gave them everything. So did Rachel. 3 days later, I got the call. Ben had been arrested. Turns out, Rachel's building had security cameras. Clear footage of him leaving the box on her doorstep, late at night, wearing a hoodie, looking right into the lens before walking away. That, combined with the threatening note and witness statements, was enough to charge him with harassment and stalking. He tried to deny it at first, of course. But there was no way out. His family tried to reach out again, blaming us for ruining his future. I didn't answer. I never spoke to any of them again. The last I heard, Ben took a plea deal to avoid jail time. He was hit with a restraining order. He can't come within 500 feet of me, Rachel, or Anna and Liam. He also lost his job. No one wanted to hire a man with public stalking charges hanging over his head. As for me, I'm free. I moved into a new apartment a month later. I changed my number, started therapy, and for the first time in years, I started to feel like myself again. A few months later, Anna and Liam invited me out for dinner. They'd booked the same little restaurant where they had their first date. Over dessert, Anna reached across the table, grabbed my hand, and smiled. "You know, for someone who ruined our wedding, you turned out to be the best part of it." We laughed so hard the whole restaurant stared. And for the first time in a long time, I laughed with them.